Way back in 1959, a fledgling game company called Avalon Hill released a game that was so innovative in how it brought the game of football to dining room tables everywhere. In under 10 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to play this classic game, Football Strategy. This is Legendary Tactics. Due to time constraints, I'll have to assume that people watching this video know the rules of football already. And by football, I mean American football, just to be clear. The rulebook would be gobbledygook to anyone unfamiliar with the game, so if you don't know much about football yet, go watch some games. It's pretty awesome. Players first start by choosing an offense plays chart. This is essentially a play style for your team, and both players can choose the same or different charts as they like. There are 3 to choose from. The first is Pro Style Offense, which is a balanced approach. And then you have an aerial game offense and a ball control offense. Each one of these cards comes with a unique chart that affects the gameplay. Choose carefully, as once you have chosen a chart, you can't change it later in the game. Then you can roll the dice to find out who wins the coin toss to begin the game, or you can flip an actual coin if you want to bring more simulation value. Whoever wins the coin toss decides whether they want to kick off or receive, just like in actual football. The kicker then chooses, as with every kickoff in the game, whether to do a normal or onside kick and consults the chart as appropriate. That player then rolls the dice. Place the ball on the yard line according to that roll and the 10-yard marker. On the normal kickoff table, if you roll a 2, there's a fumble, and the kicking team recovers the ball. Roll again to determine on what yard line this occurs. If you roll a 3, there's a penalty of 10 yards applied. Roll again to determine on which yard line this happens. If 2 fumbles are rolled in a row, the receiving team starts with the ball, as the 2 fumble rolls cancel each other out. Same with penalties. Double penalties offset each other. If an 11 or 12 are rolled, that is what is called a long gain. Roll again to determine the yard line. And then roll on the long gain table and add that yardage to the result. If you get a penalty after a long gain roll, mark that from the 50-yard line. Once you've figured out the starting yard line, check off one 15-second unit of time. On this tabletop simulator module, this is represented by 1 unit on this thing that kind of looks like a calculator. The team that just kicked becomes the defense, and the team that received the kick is the offense. Now we move to the heart of the game. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider joining now. We've got lots of other great Avalon Hill content that you might want to check out. The player on defense chooses from one of 10 different defense cards. Select one of them that represents your defensive formation that will counter the play that you believe the offense will take. Take that card and put it face down on the board. Then the player on offense calls out a play from those on their offense plays chart. There are a few restrictions. Plays 17, 18, 19, and 20 may not be called when the ball is between the defender's 1st and 20th yard line. And the offense cannot choose plays 13, 14, 15, and 16 when the ball is between the defender's 1st and 10th yard line. The defense flips over their card and you cross-reference it on the offense plays chart. Then you adjust the football, the 10-yard marker if necessary. Don't forget to expend a certain number of 15-second time units depending on the result of the play. Here's the chart that breaks that down for you. As in real football, the offense has 4 downs in which to gain a minimum of 10 yards. If they do so, the 10-yard line resets, as does the number of downs. If they don't make it, the defense gets the ball. Now let's take a look at some offense play chart results. If the result is a long gain, the offense rolls the die and consults the long gain chance table, and then marks off the gain from the line of scrimmage. Fumbles are considered to happen at the line of scrimmage. Interceptions happen by giving the defender the ball after the yardage is gained or lost as measured from the line of scrimmage. If the result of the interception would place the ball in the defender's end zone, the defender gets the ball on their 20-yard line. If the result of the interception places the ball past the physical confines of the defender's end zone, it's considered an incomplete pass. And if the interception is in or past the offense's end zone, it's an automatic touchdown for the defender. All penalties are measured from the line of scrimmage. Just like in real-life football, there are times when the penalty can be declined. If a penalty is accepted, there is no loss of down. Also, no penalty can register any scoring for either side. A team cannot be penalized more than half the distance between the line of scrimmage and the goal line. The letters O/B indicate out of bounds, which stops the clock and reduces the time of the play by 15 seconds or 1 unit. If it's fourth down, it's generally a good idea for the offense to punt the ball, as you likely know. To punt, consult the chart provided. Please note that there are 2 options of chart, one for fourth down only and one for use on any other down. If the punt distance would place the ball through the end zone before the ball is run back, then ignore the run back and the defense takes possession on their 20-yard line. If the distance of the punt places the ball in the end zone, the defense has the choice of either taking the run back or downing the ball and taking possession on their own 20. If a completed pass puts you beyond the end zone, consider the excess as running yardage gained after the reception, and the pass is still considered complete. This differs from the rules about interceptions. Remember, for all these scenarios, the end zone is 10 yards deep. Now, a quick few words about how time is handled. As said before, time is measured in 15-second units. This means that each quarter has 60 units. Before kickoff each half, set the time count to 0, and after each succeeding play, add the time units according to the chart. Each team is allowed 3 timeouts per half, and there is an automatic timeout in the second and fourth quarters at the 2 minutes remaining mark, or when the time is at 52 units and there are 8 units left. As you can see on the chart, calling a timeout effectively cancels all or most of the time spent on the previous play. Extra points may be attempted after time runs out, and a half cannot end on a defensive penalty. In that case, take one more untimed play. All scoring plays take up 15 seconds or 1 unit of time. A touchdown is scored when the football reaches or passes the goal line and gives you 6 points. This is an older game, so there's no option to go for 2, only the kick for an extra point. For that result, consult the field goal chance chart or place kicking table and use the column marked PAT or 0 to 10, depending on your game copy. In the case where the offense is pushed back to their own goal line, a safety is scored, which awards the defensive player 2 points. The team scored against must then kick from their own 20-yard line in one of 2 ways. Either the offense can use the regular kickoff table and simply add 25 yards to the result, or punt. To punt, in this case, the defensive player spreads the 10 defense cards face down on the board. The offense then chooses one, and the results are marked off from their 20-yard line. Only use the fourth down only punt chart for this. For field goals, either player can attempt them anytime the ball is no further than 45 yards from the opponent's goal line. The offensive kicking player rolls 2 dice and refers to the appropriate column on the chart. If good, that player scores 3 points. The rules refer to penalties that occur during the field goal attempt, although this doesn't seem to be referenced on the chart in this module. If you have a different version of the game, a penalty causes the ball to move forward 5 yards or half the distance to the goal line, whichever is shorter. Remember, it is always possible to gain a first down via penalties. If the field goal attempt is no good, indicated here with NG, the defense takes possession of the ball on their own 20-yard line. If ever a ball is blocked on an attempted kick, the defense takes position at the line of scrimmage. And that's the game. I hope you have a chance to try this bit of board game history, especially if you're a football fan. Of course, the teams are generic and the playstyle might be a bit dated, but the core of the game is here, and it wouldn't be too far-fetched to try out some house rules to make it a more modern gaming experience. We hope this helped you learn how to play football strategy, and we'll see you here next time on Legendary Tactics.